say you want to cancel, immediately put through it's crystal clear this bloke in London. It's like trying to persuade you not to. It is very interesting. I've never really gone into that whole I'm going to cancel. They would say,
hey, hello everybody. We are live. Welcome to Exeter Linux User Group, and we're going to get started in just a few moments. I'm keeping my machine busy here a little bit whilst I set up a virtual machine for this while we take a look at Kubuntu 15.04 Vivid Vervet, and I'm just going to get a few things set up. And here, actually, in the physical audience, we're just having a little bit of a chat and hanging around together. So do come along and join us, and I hope you enjoy it as our virtual audience.
You're going to have got actual fibre right straight in? That's good. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Cables, it rather than rather than fibre. That's what kind of sound. A lot of the houses that are building and that's what's there, I'm sure they're not running fibre in. I've got an opportunity to put fibre in while they're building them.
Well, essentially set up because obviously a few years ago now, in Exeter, you had Eurobell Virgin in all the cable.
Yeah.
And I bought they didn't put it in the new I've got no more money anymore. In the BT, even though the grounds were broken in, they could have laid it in there, ducting, whatever they wanted. They had no way to do it. So there was like 100 houses, so it's black on the road. You can't get fibre on those, even though the older houses, just the bottom of the road.
Yeah.
Well, actually, because some of this you can, because it faces onto the main road.
Yeah.
Where it's in the road.
Very much the same.
Yeah. It's a bizarre situation.
It's got crazy in our comment, it's very rural. And they've got put these fibre cabinets in. We're about 100 metres away from this cabinet that runs by us, and we can't get fibre at work. But out in the middle of nowhere, this house out in the middle of nowhere, we get fibre. We can understand how you think they're trying to feed the many, wouldn't you, and give them fibre first? But oh no, the whole village can't get it. There's one person out in the middle of nowhere and get fibre. That's great. I mean, the house is miles away from anywhere else. It's amazing.
Yeah, I've got some friends in Sydney, and he's on an old type situation. He wants to move over to fibre broadband. He's got to have a new phone line put in. £30.
Yeah.
But just a normal phone line.
Yeah.
But a new phone line, which is not on the pole, presumably. So you should get this fibre. Because it's only fibre for the cabinet.
Yeah. But you can't get fibre if you're close enough to it, can't you? You have to pay for it.
Well, yes. I mean, the actual BT Infinity cabinet, I look out my bathroom window and I can see it. It's literally the other side of the road. But my current house is got like an old country lane, and my house is an old country lane, like the 1920s houses. And then the rest of Exeter was built up around it. So, of course, my telephone line comes from the pole, which is along the old lane, whereas right alongside my house is the new road, which is cool. And that's why I'm in Virgin, because the Virgin goes past my house.
Okay, more or less ready to go. I've got a virtual machine running here ready to try this install. What I'm going to do now is, first of all, I'm going to share the window for this virtual machine, hopefully, which will be this one. And this screen share, hopefully will, I'm going to say present that to everyone. So with a bit of luck, you guys who are watching this live have now got this screen. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch this out of the way so that you guys here in this end, just the beauty of technology, isn't it? Look at this. How about this? Okay. So now I've got this on the screen here. So now I brought with me this evening for you guys, I brought some DVDs and some USB keys. All of these actually work. I've got 32-bit and 64-bit images, so depending on what kind of machine you've got. And so if you want to have a play with these, 64-bit, do you want a DVD?
USBs.
USB.
I'm going to just run it on the USB. I'll switch off Mint.
They're all 64. That's a 64-bit key.
Oh, I can do a DVD because of the DVD drive.
Yeah,
Do you want to try a DVD?
We don't have a DVD.
Have you got a 64-bit machine?
64.
Okay, so if you pass me that a minute, Christopher, or pass that over, yeah, that's great. And you'll be able to follow along with this. I've got a 32-bit one here, Sam, if you want. You've already got it on there. Now, look, that's what I like, when people come prepared with their own distro installed. Now, you will have to forgive me, because my machine here is about 6 or 7 years old now. This is Samsung R710. And so it's working quite hard to do Google Hangouts, to run Kubuntu itself, and then I'm running another version of Kubuntu in a virtual machine. So it will be a little bit slow, but what I'm going to do is take you through just trying it. I'm not going to look at the install process at the moment. We're just going to basically try it, run it up on a live session so we can see what we want to do. So for those of you that, if you want to try this in your own time, if you're watching this live or if you're watching it recorded via our website, then if you go to kubuntu.org, you can download these ISO images that you can just burn to a USB stick or boot in VirtualBox like I'm doing now, or you can burn to a DVD and boot from this. And it won't change anything on your machine. So trying it will just run it from the USB stick or run it from the DVD, allow you to play with it and experience it like we're going to do right now. And then once you're finished, you reboot your machine, pull the DVD out, pull the USB key out, and you're back to where you were before. So this, once you boot up from the DVD and you get started, this here is the screen that you'll be presented with two options, install or try. So we're going to click on try Kubuntu. I suspect this is going to take my machine just a few minutes to get itself up and running and started. I ought to actually make you a manager of the Exeter Linux user group page, Trevor, and then you can load these photographs up, and then from there I can post some of them onto the onto Thinternet. So I have to say that I have been quietly keeping this rather quiet in the background with all of this new Plasma 5 stuff that's been being worked on. I was able to get a copy of the Plasma 5 tech preview early last year when the Kubuntu team first built the ISO. And this is using all the new Qt frameworks, the KDE Framework 5 and the Plasma desktop. And it is very, very beautiful. The graphics in it and the and certainly in the release version, everything is kind of like seamless. So there's a whole set of unique Plasma 5 icons all installed into LibreOffice. So everything looks kind of ubiquitous across the whole desktop. It's got this lovely theme that looks really, really nice. Do you guys here, if you're having any trouble, if you do have any problems, just shout, give me a shout or whatever. I can answer any questions in between trying to get the old VirtualBox running. That are watching on the virtual stream, because you're not privy to the fabulous filter coffee that Trevor's just made for us. And et voila, here is our desktop being built for us right now. Right. Okay. Here we go. Here's our menu down at the bottom. Right. Okay. A little bit short of scale here. So what I'm going to do is just leave this, move down the bottom here, and hopefully I'll get into the bottom left, and you can sort of see. So this is the theme that basically Kubuntu is coming with, and it for those people that might be looking at this and thinking to themselves if they're using Windows or something like that, or Mac. But predominantly, if you're using Windows and you're familiar with that operating system, and You want something that's going to feel familiar with many of the menus and items positioned in the same way, then Kubuntu may well be worth looking at for you guys. Down here in the left-hand corner is the main menu structure. And basically what this does is gives you access to all of your applications, various browsers and things like that. Now I'm just going to take you for a little bit. And Kubuntu comes installed with loads of applications, and there are many, many more, thousands of them in fact, that you can pull in from the software center. And I'm going to, in a moment, I'm going to open up one of the text editors, but I'm just taking my time here to just sort of show you kind of through the menu items, and you can kind of get a feel for how it sort of looks. Your recently used items here, obviously this is brand new. And along the bottom, you've got the usual things, your icons and so on and so forth, and your basically your main toolbar, which is where your applications will run, and your clock, which is hooked into the calendar. So when I click on that, you've got a calendar with that theme as well that you can see there. And let me just see whether I can open up Kate, which is a nice, simple. In fact, actually, let's open up the file manager and start there. That's probably one of the best places to go and have a look. And I'll show you just some of the features of the file manager. Because most of the tools, the great thing about Kubuntu and KDE in particular, is that most of the tools have just masses of kind of hidden features that you just kind of don't suspect. So if you take just something as simple as the file manager, for example, oops, I grab all of that, just relocate my window down here so you guys can see that a little bit better. So here's your kind of standard file manager, and what you've got here is what you would expect to see. Let me just make this a wee bit bigger, because I'm going to do a couple of things with this in a moment. Now, you've got your main file system on the left-hand side, which is looking at your files and folders, as you would expect. But built into Dolphin is a whole network folder. And so in here, you can connect your mobile phone devices and MTP shares and USB shares. You can connect to Windows servers using Samba and add network folders. And even in the network folder setting, you can add folders using Fish and SFTP and FTP folders, things like that. So not just about being able to manage files on your local network, you can do it, you know, across the internet as well. And you can create new folders. So, for example, here you could add a network folder. Click and give it a moment and see network folder wizard. Here we go. So now you can see that I can add a WebDAV folder. So if I was running OwnCloud, my files on OwnCloud or something like that, I can add that. FTP, Microsoft Windows, Secure Shell, any one of those folders, and they can be mapped in here and then set up and ready to go. And of course, you can hook into your keys and your SSH keys and so on and so forth. So quite a lot of flexibility there. You've also got this recently used function, which is great when you've got lots of files and you're busy doing different things. You can see what you recently opened and accessed and what you were using just recently. So that's quite handy to have as well. And it's got very powerful search tools, and I'm going to talk more about those in a moment. But one of the other things I want to show you is just some of these view buttons across the top here. So I wonder whether I don't think we've got any pictures in here. But the preview button would basically preview all your pictures. In here, if you had videos in here, you can actually get a preview running on the right-hand side and play that preview in that side there. You've got this split window feature. And what this allows you to do now is to move into different directories and transfer files around, for example. Then you've got a whole sequence of function keys that do different things. And one of the things I wanted to show you was the F4 function key. Because what that does is basically opens up a console session in the directory that you're in. So for example, if I wanted to touch example text in there, that creates that example file in there. And so perhaps if you use something like Midnight Commander or something like that, then this tool will do all of this. And so there's quite a lot of features there that you can kind of use inside of just this one tool in itself. What I'm also going to do is, let me just come down into this public folder here. So notice as I click into this public folder here, this basically changes the current directory. So here I'm going to touch example file2.txt. I'll put that into this folder. Well, I will if I can spell it correctly. So now I've got my 2 example folders in here. I can press F4, that gets rid of my console. And so you can see just this one tool itself is really quite powerful. Come into my today settings, and now I can start to see some of the files that I've got here that I've been using, and so on and so forth. Now that I've created a couple of files, one of the other things I want to show you in Kubuntu is the KRunner feature. Now, the KRunner feature is accessed using the Alt space, and there it is. Alt space brings this up at the top. So if I now type example in here, what this will do is it will go and search all of my files, and it's backed up by a background indexer. So basically what it does is, once you've got used to using your system for a while, in the background it indexes your files, and it basically brings them all into here. And you can run and launch programs from here, find a file in here, for example, like a movie or a film, and just run it straight from here and away you go. Yeah. So this, you've got quite a lot of functionality here. That's also very configurable. So I just click that configure button, and you can set in here what applications should run, what files, and so on and so forth, as you kind of go through and use the desktop. So in here now, this is basically saying, okay, inside of the Plasma search function, which is what you get access to using Alt space, you can now enable and disable all of these different programs that will interact with your files and so on and so forth. So very quickly, in fact, you can drive the whole of your desktop actually just with Alt space. So for example, if I close this a moment and say, let's say I want to open up, well, Kate, for example. So Alt space, Kate, and there's my Kate text editor. So I can now open that up. My apologies that it's a bit slow, but it's probably a benefit actually to the people watching on the video, because it doesn't update the screen for them quite so fast. So now in here I have my files and folders, and I can go up through my folders and find files. So if I come into downloads, for example, I've got my example text file. I can open this up, and I can start entering text in here. This just gives you a bit of an introduction into the desktop, and let's just take a quick look now in the settings panel. And I'll just show you some of the configuration features, because there's lots and lots of things that you can configure and tweak to kind of suit yourself in here. There is just buttons for all sorts of things. So you can, you've got different workspace themes. So here, for example, you can pull up a desktop theme. And this allows you to change your color schemes. So at the moment we're using like a dark and mixed scheme, but there are different color schemes here and different looks and feels and fonts and you name it. All sorts of things you can configure in here. You have, when you've got 3D acceleration, you can configure in the desktop behavior, you can configure all of your desktop effects. So if you've seen those wobbly window type effects where this all drags around and does things like that, magic lamps and desktop cubes and all kinds of funky gadgetry stuff. There's just a wealth of things that you can set in here. Multiple virtual desktops. So at the moment, number of desktops is 1, but I could push this up to, let's say, 8 of these, for example, and apply that. And now I've got 8 different virtual desktops that I can work with. You can see, I can just pull this up across the bottom here. Here they are. So I can slide between them. So if I just, let's see what else we can do. Let's go and take a look in Muon a minute. I'll show you the software center. So you've got Muon is the software center, the discovery center for KDE on Kubuntu. And this allows you to install just parts of software. So anybody in the room got any particular favorites that they like? Favorite pieces of software that you can do? Oh, GIMP is a good one.
Audacity.
Yeah, Audacity. So basically, in the Discovery Center, this is essentially it's an app store, and the layout inside of the app store is really quite well done. In fact, it's very well done. So when this loads in a moment, you can be able to see and take a look through, and I'll show you the different sections and categories that you can go and look through. When it loads in a moment, poor machine. I think it's getting hot now. Yeah, Alt space and type Muon. That'll do it.
Oh, you've got Muon Discover and you've got Muon Optimize.
Yeah, Muon Discover is the one you want.
We've got formula around to build
My poor machine's struggling a little bit here.
Can you just right click and add to desktop and see icons next?
Yes, widgets. We'll go and have a look at some widgets in a moment. I'll show you some of those things that you can add onto the desktop. All kinds of.
So I haven't played with this that much yet. I've been too busy with Sentinel 7. So.
Oh yeah.
So I've played it too much.
There's such a lot of changes in CentOS 7, and all the command line tools have been kind of ripped out and replaced with different things. So my poor machine, unfortunately, is kind of really struggling to show you you guys here. But I wonder whether I can. Let's see whether I can find something like Crit to see whether it will go and have a look. I've got the spelling the wrong way around. And we're having to wait for it to catch up with me now.
Well, you might want to slow down. It's only got 2 gigs of RAM. An Atom chips. That's not really very hard.
Yeah, it'll be working hard, won't it?
That's why I haven't got it all on. I've been too busy doing the graphical effects and actually doing some work. It's like the old Windows PCs with a screensaver, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
You leave it processing away or confining away, you leave it and go and get a cup of tea at the screensaver come in. All your resources went in the screensaver.
I hamstrung someone's 4 in 6 months by making it play a song. And the stupid thing took so long to load all the software to play this.
Yeah.
I think I almost lost my job.
See what mine does.
Oh boy. Oh, for those of you on the live stream, my apologies. My poor machine has kind of ran out of resources as it tries to run the software center. I'll just leave it for a moment till it comes back and shows us Critter. We'll take a quick look at that, and then I'll close down the Muon Discover. because I suspect that the Python engine that's sitting behind that is taking too much resource. Let's have a bit of background music now.
Get that from it. That's not on the audio.
No, it's on my USB.
Oh, right.
Best of James Bond.
Best.
One of my Christmas presents to me.
Oh, magic. Is it going to come back to me? Oh, dearie. Hey, da-da-da-da-da-da. There we go. Right, let's give it a second. So you can see now that it's basically filtered through this now, found me some stuff. So here's the digital painting program, Critter. Let's just click on that once and see where it will take me through to show me that. I have to remember to try to be patient. It reminds me of back in the days of Windows 3.1 and stuff like that, where you'd open 2 applications and then you'd have to many times, because if you do, you fill the buffers with keystrokes to process. You have to come back half a day later. And so you can see here, the Muon software center is a cinch. This would be as simple as clicking install, bosh, and it's just going to install all of the software. And so commonly, like I just installed my machine at work, and I've got a bunch of tools that I use. I use GIMP and KDE Live Video Editor and KDevelop and Reconc browser and Chromium and so on and so forth. Just come in here, find all of those things, and just start clicking install, 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 and it just goes off and backgrounds all of those tasks and installs them all, and pop that down to minimize, and before you know it, it's all installed and configured and good to go. So let's we'll shut that down for a moment. It should give me a little bit more resource now. Back in here. A little bit of luck. You know what they say? They say never do a live presentation, don't they? Always do it with screenshots. Yeah, save that document. Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, if you want it a little bit more fluid for those to be on the live stream, then you know, come on down, come and visit us. We go to the chip shop and everything, and all kinds of things. I've got chip shop on the mind. You see, I'm hungry.
Yeah, it's interesting actually. Mine's done the same thing. It doesn't correct the British saving.
Oh, right, okay. Well, I prefer UTC anyway. Have you come across this Beats thing? Swatch Beats?
I've heard of it.
Oh, it's great. Everybody's on the same beat everywhere on the planet. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, who knows what time of day it is? Doesn't matter, you know, whether it's light or dark. But you know, basically 1,000 beats to a day, and they all kick off at midnight. I suppose the question is, which midnight?
Yes.
From which midnight do they start? From whence do they come? I don't know. Anyway, there's lots and lots of things that you can. Let's go and take a look on the menus and see what's installed in here to start with. So you've got Maths Formula Editor and some science programs. In the graphics department, you've got the document viewer, LibreOffice Draw, Scanlight for scanning, GwenView, which is an image viewer and has got some simple editing tools. So you can crop and transform and resize. And you've got K-Snapshot, the screen sharing program.
So the image scanning, you guys should use that with a flatbed scanner.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, just plug it in and off it goes. Yeah, should just plug it in and it just work.
It's good to find all the drivers, is it?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, it should do all of that and
give it a try.
Figure itself out. Yeah, do all of that. BitTorrent, Blue Devil, RSS feed reader. For help and support, you've got the instant messenger, and that's the one thing I should say. Actually, I should pause for a moment and talk about IRC, because in fact, why don't we see whether we can do this live if I've got internet connection, which I probably am. And what this should do is immediately connect me up to Kubuntu. So once you've got this installed, you should be able to connect to the Kubuntu, and it should load Kubuntu on IRC, which it's going to do there. So let me just edit this, because I'm going to add. I'm going to add the developer channel. So I'm going to add Kubuntu Devel, and let's go and see who's hanging around in Kubuntu Devel at the moment. So if we go OK and connect, and let's have a look and see who's in here. One of the things that I would say about Kubuntu as a community is that the help and support that's available in these IRC channels, on the forums or on the mailing list is excellent. The people are really friendly people. And so let me just put it here. Folks, it is secret in. How do you spell disguise? I've suddenly kind of had a mental block. D-I-S-G-U-I-S-E, disguise. Like demo for log. Which one? Gwenview? Yes, it is. It's a really good tool. So you can get help in here. This is the development channel. So this is where you'll find me in here most of the time, every day. This also is the Kubuntu channel. So this is the place where you can come and there's loads of people in here. If you've got questions or you want to get things answered, you want to find out how to do something on your distribution, you've got online help built in. And you just click on conversation, come on in here, and you'll find some of the people who will help you out and talk to you and help you solve your problems.
You changed my password. You changed mine.
Yeah, you think that was by mistake? No, it was deliberate. So we've got the graphics. Let's see what else we've got on internet. So then you've got the instant messenger, and you've got your folder wizard. You've got remote desktop clients for connecting to other machines across the network. What else is in here? I always like the internet menu. There's loads of stuff in here which is good and fun to play with. It keeps, for some reason, I'm kind of like working against myself here. SSH add and various other things. I wonder what Civ editor is. Civ sounds like it might be just the tool I need for taking all of my inbound email and throwing it away. That's what I need. I need a tool that does that very thing.
I'm working with one of my colleagues. He's got this new theory to have a zero inbox policy.
Yeah.
At the end of Friday, he's going to have nothing left. However, we could archive 10,000 emails first.
Right.
So his inbox.
Hey, here's your phone. Oh. Probably all out of the pub, no doubt. So, but you can see that, as you can see, as I'm demonstrating there are always people in here to come and chat to and talk to, and I think that's one of the great things. One of the things that I like about Kubuntu more than anything else is that straight out of the box you've got this community of people you can go and chat to and help and do all kinds of stuff. And for those of you that are into a bit of tech as well, let's have a look at this. I want to show you this for a moment. I'm going to go off on a tangent. If you are really interested in kind of what's going on in the background, if I join Kubuntu CI, this is the continuous integration system. What does Kubuntu CI does? This distribution that you're looking at right here now is built by machine. It's built by machine and it's tested by machine in the main. The packages, people like Jonathan and Scala and Harold and Yoffel and all of those guys, the team that work to package the software together, once they've finished packaging it, many of those applications are handed up to Kubuntu CI. And up here, this KCI Pangea.pub, let's get that opened up. This actually gives us access to, what's it doing here? I've broken something. Oh, I know what it's doing. Yeah, okay. So one moment, I'll get it back in a moment and get Firefox open. And what this will do is take us to the Jenkins server. So what is Jenkins? Well, he's my butler, don't you know? Jenkins is the build machine that basically takes the pages that have been prepared by the guys in the community, and it uploads them into the build machine, and it runs up virtual machines using Linux containers, Docker and things like this, and it builds a machine, a base machine, and then it'll start building the packages, compiling all the source code. It can download source code from upstream, package it all up into a package, build it into an ISO, and then fire it on the servers. And we can see all of that. If I see whether I can copy this link address and open this up. And so you can actually go here with the distribution in the web browser and see it in action. And come back to, let me tell these guys what I'm going to do while that gets started. Yes, sitter. Put it on there. What's it done with my Firefox? It's probably taken a minute to load it. I probably overloaded it again. So wait patiently. I'm kind of reluctant to try this one here. My own window. There's me.
Canada. That's one
And let me get this link pasted in here, and we'll go off and have a look at Pangea.pub and see the Jenkins build servers doing stuff. I love Jenkins, absolutely great. We implemented this at work, and it's fabulous. So here is the build for basically Vivid Fixes. It's showing you basically, you can see what it's doing here at the moment. It's been building these different branches of stuff, and the sunshine means that all is well in the world and everything is working. Cloudy means we've had one or two problems, and if it's raining a lot and we've got lots of then we've got lots of build fails, we'll see them. But here you can and if you go and have a look yourself, you'll see that you know, there's just loads to look at in here. So you can come and go in here, and let's have a look at this unstable Qt streamer. Let's see what's been going wrong with that. So you can click on any one of these and it will show you the build, and you can drill down, you can go and get the build logs, you can see the console output of what it's been doing, you can get access to what's been happening on Git, and Jenkins is used in this way really to automate a vast amount of the work that goes into building the distribution and kind of testing it and making it all happen and hang together. Right, let me go back here. So just talking to Jenny here. There's a link to that. Right, let me move on to show you some other bits and pieces. How we're doing for time here, 2024. So I've got about 15 minutes left to fill out before we close the session. I know that I suspect that this is probably moving along quite slowly, even for the people watching the video with the screen share. But let's go back and see what else we've got in here. So, multimedia tools, you've got a video player and an audio player. I think Amarok is the default it is. So you've got the Amarok audio player. Let's open that up and have a look at that. That's got tons of gadgets. If you music all over the place, all sorts of different sites where you can get access to music and listen to all day long. Loads of, and through things like and places like the Archive. Children, you know, somebody singing Moody Blues in the background or some such thing. Ah, yeah. So if you've got the US keyboard set up, let me show you how to do that. Down here on your desk tray is this little keyboard input method. And if you click on that, I don't know what it's doing at the moment. I'm waiting for it to fire up Amarok. But that little tool, this is basically the input manager. It allows you to define the language settings and the keyboard settings that you want. So you could just install GB in there and it will change the keyboard. And you can flip them on the fly if you want. Great if you're like one of our developers, Sasha, who works with me. I mean, he uses Windows at the moment, but I think that this would be ace because he's Russian and he speaks Russian and he speaks Bulgarian, and they have completely different. Is it Cyrillic character set that they use over there?
Yeah.
Totally different keyboard input mechanism. So of course he's operating away in English, and of course he could just flip the input mesh and bang, and then he can do it all in Russian. And there he goes. I don't know how they do it, these folks. Oh look, there's my zoom out window mechanism. Oh, right. No, you're not seeing that live, though, in the Hangout. Bring this up. I want to just check that. I saw that. Okay, yeah, it is indeed working correctly. I thought it wasn't for a moment. No, don't say it's not live streaming. So I think we're on another hide into nothing, waiting for Amarok to load on my poor machine. So let me check it out to any questions. Are there any questions that anybody's got? Anything you particularly like me to show you? Well, it won't do it at the moment. Is that because you're running? You're not running a live session. You've got it installed, haven't you? So that should be under System Settings.
Yeah, System Settings.
Yeah. I'm waiting for my menu to load. I'm sorry. I will tell you what. Let me come to this one, and I'll be able to find it easier. System Settings. Bring this up on this machine. Doing this in a slightly different window. Okay, so under here, we want account details, user manager, new user.
Yeah, so we're getting around, obviously like the John text box is to the far right, we're getting around like no entry zone.
Let me have a look.
To the right of the John.
Yeah. So that'll be because, has this got more than one account on this machine?
This one, you don't have one, it's just trying to add a new one now.
All right, so you've only got the one account.
Yeah. Session new installs, we actually just been fired up there now. All you do like, I haven't done to use it. It's a 32-bit version. There's a bug in 32-bit or something. For updates.
Well, what I don't know, because what I've got on my desktop here is a 32-bit version as well. So what I'm showing you is a 32-bit version, and I can come into these and add all of these,
Yeah.
and add them in there. So
Unless you have to put a double name in the real name, I just put the first name. I should have put 2 in. Maybe.
you got me. Let's have a look. Let's see if I
We'll
can
come back to that. Don't worry.
discard those changes. Let me come in again. Yeah, here you go. I've got it working now.
There's one named Chris. Anyone called Chris doesn't get hand.
Yeah, if your name's Chris, you're not coming in. Yeah, so it's working now. You'll have to go back over those, or maybe go back out and come back in again. I'm not entirely sure why that was not playing ball, but that was going on there. Right, so let me. What I'm going to do for a moment is I'm just going to leave the live session.
Is it too short?
I can get back to the live session here again.
You've got so many characters with it, isn't it?
Oh, does
It's
it?
too short.
Chris is too short. Chris is on.
Ah, right. There you go. So your name's not down. You're not coming in.
So, yeah, so you could sound or something like that.
Oh, what's Dan Robinson going to do then?
So Danielle, oh yeah, Danielle.
Can we have to sort of work what we do is like search for looking at a normal database? You have to have a minimum of 3 characters, but if you've got like a Chinese student with a surname Lee, like I, it won't let you search for it.
Oh yeah, it's
Welcome to the 21st century.
yeah, I know exactly. Oh boy.
They're not short names. That first is the real.
Say again. What the boot disk? It just didn't do anything. Oh.
Could you actually start it at all? Is that
Right, okay. So, right, okay. No. So what you need to do is you can't boot it from, you tried to power the machine off and boot it onto the key. Because you have to basically power the machine off, bring it up into BIOS and press F12 and then tell it from boot from USB device. And then I'll get it started. So I've largely killed my machine here with trying to launch Amarok. So I tell you what, why don't I do a little bit of something, a little bit of jiggery pokery. What I will do is I can get this back to the Google Hangouts, and then I'll stop sharing this for a moment, and I'll bring up Amarok on my real machine, and then we can play about with it a little bit more. You can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so what I want to do is share the Amarok screen with you guys. Start that screen share. Should have thought of this earlier. And that would have made life a bit better. And then, now that I've got you sharing that there, and then I'm going to figure out how to do this in a moment. This is so versatile, I can't even figure it out. Minimize that one, drag Amarok over here, and let's get some tunes on. Okay, so we're coming to here, and then you have got all sorts of tune type places here. So Jamendo, for example. If I just tell that I needed to update the Jamendo database, pack this up to full screen. And here.
I like this. It's really good. So I use Mint. It's just looks good.
It's absolutely gorgeous. It really is. Just people, the developers at work, because I'm the only person. Most like developers at work were split across 3 camps. Right? There's this dedicated hardcore Windows 8 team, and they're not having anything else. Then there's the Mac boys, the Apple fanboys. They love a bit of it. They're all walking around with the MacBook Airs, like this, that, the other. And there's the development team. They're mostly using Ubuntu, and there are some people that there's somebody downstairs, I think, in the bottom of the lab somewhere that's using some obscure BSD kind of install thing. But most of them are using Ubuntu with Unity and so on and so forth. And then I've got this, people walk past and I do this kind of little like flash out here, so bang like this, and I start trying to get all this flash graphics flying on and stuff going on everywhere. They go, wow, Rick, what's that? And I end up doing these little demos, going, oh wow. They go, oh, I use Eclipse, but it's a bit clunky for me editing. Oh, have you seen this KDevelop? And then slip the thing out, and here's all your docs and everything else, and open the terminal. Oh wow, great stuff.
Because Eclipse got quite a few plugins, isn't there? You've got lots of plugins.
Yeah, there are lots of plugins for Eclipse, but there are lots of plugins for KDevelop too. And the difference is, there is a big difference between Eclipse and KDevelop, in that. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are so many, because Eclipse is like a Java framework, isn't it? You can load all sorts of stuff into it, so you've got lots and lots of flexibility and functionality. But if you're kind of an ICSI sort of developer and you want to work in C or C++ or PHP or Python, then KDevelop is just ace. And let me just check. I'm pretty sure I got it installed on here. Yeah.
It's quite a good idea. It does sort of highlight all the changes colours and formats, and it suggests what could be next.
I had to do something on the Ubuntu SDK there, the Ubuntu software development kit. That's ace, really good. But while that loads a second, so I'm just going to let that load. I won't put this up on the live stream for you guys, but I will for your delight and hacktastic pleasure. Let's take a quick look at KDevelop here, because I just think this is a really fantastic tool. Now, I haven't got any projects open at the moment because I've only really just rebuilt this machine. So if I just do, oh, what a shame! I haven't got a project open that I can show you at the moment.
We get a new project on it. Have a list of icons of all the different flavors of application projects you can create.
We'll do a new from template. Let's see what we got. Here you go. Let's take a cute one. I don't know what template we got.
Hello world.
I can't see the hello world.
No, I'm surprised I haven't got one. Most of them usually have one, don't they?
Oh, maybe I need to go and get some templates. I probably do. All right, I want to download those then. Standard terminal. Okay. Right. Well, let me see whether I can show you document. This is the bit I like, documentation. Okay, so if I create let me just open a new from template. So I've got a template. There'll be a template C file or something here I can load. That one will do. That. skip through all of this. In the idea, my output, my code browser, my local terminal, and then in here I've just got tons of documentation, and I can load extra documentation. There's extra plugins for PHP, Python, there's plugins for Git, and just tons and tons of stuff. And this is just an amazing idea, and why I personally like this so much more than something like Eclipse is because it's just fast. You know, when you're using Eclipse, it's kind of, and this is an old machine, you can see it's working hard in the background, it's running VirtualBox and everything else, and with all the Java stuff, Eclipse is just, it feels a bit cluggy, so does NetBeans, it's all a bit stick, but this is just absolutely lightning fast, because of course KDE develops using all the Qt stuff in the same way. Right, let's have a look and see whether what we got with this Jamendo gear then.
Isn't this all like concept music or some music?
I think so.
Yeah.
Although it didn't seem to want to show me anything for some reason. Why is that? Okay, there we go. And then once again, like everything on KDE is kind of just over the top. It's like, you know, the wedding car of distributions, or you know, just like not only is this going to give you like fancy graphics and all of this stuff on the internet, but now it's going to go and look up all the lyrics on Wikipedia, and it's going to go and find band information, all that kind of stuff. And it's just packed with settings and configuration options for all your plugins. You can come in here and you can say, right, okay, plugins for iPod, DAP collection, MTP, and then listen to radio, Apache, get different podcasts, you know, get all of that kind of stuff going on. It's just loaded with stuff.
Has it got the plug-in for like your BBC radio stations out for the web?
Yeah, absolutely. You've got Shoutcast and stuff like that. So there will be, if I go back here.
Is it Shockwave? Can you use sometimes?
Shockwave is flash audio, isn't it?
I think that's what it might use.
Yeah, it probably is, something like that. I would. Yeah, I would think so. Yeah. You'd need the Shockwave Flash plugins. I'm just trying to see whether I want to get the Jamendo stuff.
Election information, you will hit the live feed sometimes.
The election information, no, forget it.
As I say, in 5 years' time, of course, it might be slipping.
What time do we go for this chip run?
Oh yes, 2044. Right, okay. So, well, folks on the live stream, having broken my VirtualBox, and I'm afraid I'm not able to show you much more, but I do hope that you guys have enjoyed it. What I would recommend you do is go and get yourself a copy of Kubuntu from kubuntu.org. You can go and download it from the Kubuntu website, kubuntu.org. At the top, you'll see on the left-hand side, there's a little icon with an arrow, a download arrow. It says Get Kubuntu. Go down there, download the distribution, burn it onto a key, and have a play with it yourself. And I think that you'll be impressed with just how good looking it is and how slick and how many features it's got. And I really hope that you enjoy that. So from all of us here at the Access Linux User Group, it's been really great. We're glad that you could join us. We hope that you'll be able to get an opportunity to come and see us in the flesh. And don't forget that next month, on Friday, June the 12th, is actually going to be our summer bar camp and barbecue. So we're going to be having a barbecue across the road at the pub, and we're going to be doing some talks, and do come along to that and get involved. So I'm Rick Timmis. I'll see you all soon.
Bye.
Goodbye.